welcome to this podcast, Chill in One. It's one of those days where I'm like, I'm sat in my comfiest clothes, I'm like slightly sleepy, I've not really done my hair or anything, I'm just lazing at my desk.
Today we're going to be talking about the life and history of the rap group known as D12. Starting with I don't know who was part of D12.
Name any other member of D12 other than Eminem. Go on, try it.
Bizarre.
Oh, good
Bizarre.
job. You did one. Can you do another one?
Yeah, thanks. Was Royce the 5'9" part of it? Oh, was he not? Okay.
That was Bad Meets Evil.
Oh, that was it. Okay. Yeah, was Snoop part of it? Snoop weren't part of it, was he?
No.
No. Okay. No. I know. I know Eminem and Bizarre.
The only other one that I know, because I think I've heard him mentioned in because he died, I think in other ones, is Proof.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah.
So the D12 members are Proof, Eminem, Bizarre, Bugs, Denon Porter, Kuniva or Conniver, IQ.
Conniver is Conniver.
Spelt I as in an eyeball and then KYU. IQ.
Oh great! IQ of art, great.
There's Fuzz Scooter. These names. And then there was another one that no one actually realized was there because he's called DJ Invisible. So no one could tell.
Oh, great. Do you think they just thought? Do you think they just thought, "Fuck it, we've got Eminem. It don't matter who else we've got." Like,
Chat's excited. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Chat's happy to see you, Judd. Calling you Judd the Stud. I'm pretty sure the guy in chat who was excited to see you didn't know your name was Judd. He thought he was like Jed or something like that until I recently said, no, his name's Judd. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, okay. So what was it? What was it before he called me Judd the Stud? Was it Jed the Bed? Like
Jed the Stead? I don't know.
Jed the Stead.
Yeah, there's not much topic today in today's podcast. We're just chilling. We're having fun. We're going to talk about some random shit. I'm going to mention that you should subscribe to Streams Badly on YouTube and follow us on Kick, Streams Badly as well. You can get Podcast Badly on Spotify, YouTube, and Kick. There's video versions on all of those. You can also get it on stuff like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and things like that. We didn't know that until recently, but you can. Clips Badly is on TikTok and YouTube for the Clips channel, and at Tweets Badly on X, or as everyone still calls it, Twitter. Right. Twitter. Now that we've done a little bit about that, Jed the Sped, what have you been up to? You been doing anything?
Yeah, I started my new job on Tuesday.
Oh, Judd's got a new job.
I've been doing that, yeah.
What? You're lifting something different this time?
No, it's actually, I gotta be honest with you, it's pretty boring.
What a surprise!
It's more than my last job, but it's like I'm pretty much just cleaning. Like I gotta be honest with you, it's more like janitorial than like anything.
Right.
But like I'm getting paid more than I was doing before, and I'm literally like, I don't know, I probably show up to site at like 7:45 in the morning. I like go around and empty all the bins on site, and then I'll just go onto site, sweep everything up, and then I'll mop up in the drying room and in the canteen, and that's literally all he wants me doing. I feel like I'm not. I felt for like the past 2 days that I'm not doing enough around there, and yeah, I got a call from the head of the agency that put me on this job, like not even the woman who was like managing just me, the guy who runs that whole firm. He called me up and he said, "Hey man, it's nothing serious. I just wanted to call and tell you and just say that you're doing a really good job. I've heard really good stuff about you from Nigel, who's like the guy who's my boss on this site. It's like he's saying, you know, you're doing really good. You're like best labor he's ever had." And I'm like, oh my god, thank you. And
they must get some right shitters though, you know, in that industry.
No, I know that's what that's what I always thought, but it really, I've talked about how I've been struggling with depression and stuff for like the past God, I don't know, but one of the things that was really bringing me down, and I didn't even really think I knew it was bringing me down, was the lack of like respect and recognition that I was lacking in my job, because like I used to do a lot for the place I used to work at, and I used to basically do everything I'm doing now, but I'd also have to help dry liners carry the materials about and like load up different floors and stuff for the dry liners, which were like 5 kilo to like 34 kilo plasterboards that I'd have to move with somebody else, like sometimes literally hundreds at a time. I'd have to get like deliveries in. I'd have to fucking sort out plasterers, so I'd be sorting out their gear. I'd be cleaning up after them as well. I was doing all these extra jobs, and I was moving from site to site, and they all fucking suck. They're all assholes.
Everyone is all the time. Yeah. It never changes.
Well, no, because it's like I've got to this place, and I'm doing literally a fraction of the work I was doing at the last place for marginally more money, and I've literally got the head of the firm calling me up to say, "Hey, good job." It's like, and maybe he does that with everybody. Maybe he calls everybody up and says,
maybe
"Hey,
he fancies you."
Good job," or maybe he just fancies me. But you know what? It's like.
I was talking I was talking to my girlfriend about this recently.
Yeah.
About how I can't imagine guys being that bothered at all about being hired or being paid more or being given a raise or something because their boss finds them sexy. Like how like to women that's demeaning, things like that, and it's not saying that it's not by any means. I just can't imagine guys would give a shit much. I feel like they'd be like, "Oh, sweet, free job, more money, cool."
Yeah.
My boss might go home and like wank about me, but I don't fucking care.
I know.
Guys, I just can't imagine guys giving a shit so much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, who's speaking to Judge?
It's
someone's
okay.
talking to him.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay.
It's fine.
What do you think though? Do you like if you were hired for a role, obviously because your boss fancies you, or you got a promotion or something like that?
Yeah. I know I wouldn't be bothered. I'm not. No, I wouldn't be bothered. I honestly wouldn't be bothered because, like, as long as I don't have to bang him.
Yeah, as long as they don't like touch your butthole or something. It's like
yeah.
I think so. I've got some.
I'm gonna cough really loudly directly into the mic.
Okay, Judd needed to cough into the mic. Great, good. That's content we needed. Yeah. I've got some little things that I thought might be interesting. To ask you about. One that I can't remember. I can't remember what like made me think about this, but I'm interested to know, like, if you were in a relationship and you had like a hall pass list. Do you know what I mean by that?
See, the thing is, this doesn't apply to me because I just don't get in relationships and then bang who I want. It's awesome. why do I have to have like a list of?
Well, because some people like to experience love. So but I know, but like what I'm saying is, like, if you were, which people would you pick to be like a free pass? It's like a list of people that you're allowed to sleep with, even though you're in a relationship, and that your partner's not allowed to be mad about it, basically.
Well, see, there you go. That's where we differ, because if I really was in love with someone, I wouldn't have a list. Because I just want to be with that person.
Sake. Right, that's just fun then, isn't it? Okay, let's not talk about that. It's just a hypothetical, interesting subject.
Well, guess what? My I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I'm like the thing is like,
yes, I wouldn't either. I don't have one. I'm in a relationship and I don't have one because I don't give a shit. What I'm saying is, like, if you were gonna, who would you pick?
But I don't. There's nobody who comes to mind that I think, oh yeah, I'd definitely be down for infidelity because of that person. There's no one who would
So
make me
what
do
we're
that.
learning is Judd's a soulless being who doesn't give a
What
shit
are you
about
talking about?
anyone.
I literally just. What are you talking about? That's the exact opposite of what I've just said. I've just said if I was in a relationship with somebody, I wouldn't want to do that to them. And you go, oh well, you're heartless. You don't want to fuck somebody while you're in a relationship.
That's not the point.
I wake up and I tell Jasmine every morning that I'd rather be fucking somebody else. That's how you know we're in love.
The point. Okay, well, whatever. Moving on then. That was great content. Fucking hell. Right, Judd. Okay, what about another one? Or are you going to say? Next thing I'm going to ask you is where is countries that you'd be most interested in visiting, and like why, basically. But apparently, based off your last answer, it's like you see. The thing is, I actually think that traveling's not very very nice. It's like cheating on your own country.
I actually
so
think
Brexit means Brexit.
I think we should get to war with every other country and just take what we want for a while.
Fucking hell.
We used to do that. I'd like to go to quite a few places. I'd honestly love to just travel the entire world, like literally everywhere, even the places that I'd probably. Yeah, no, I really would. Like, one of my things that, like, if I just had the money to just do whatever I wanted, it would just to literally, like, just go somewhere, like, with no plan in mind, and just go.
World, though?
Like, just go all over. I want to, like, see a bit of
visit every country.
Yeah, no, every country.
I think that'd become a hassle. I feel like at a certain point, you'd have seen pretty much everything the world's got to offer. There's a lot of countries that are pretty damn similar. Like, if you think about every country in Africa, a lot of them are going to be pretty similar. And same with, like, South America and certain places. So I understand wanting to visit loads of variety of places, but I think that at a certain point, it'd almost be like a chore to check countries off. And I'd rather, like, go... like experience more time in places that I've really enjoyed. Do you not think?
I don't know. I honestly like. The thing is, I like just walking. Sometimes, like I like just walking and exploring, and I can just like look at anything, and I just feel like I'd. You know what? If I could have any life in the world, I'd just be a really rich drifter. I'd literally just go from town to town, just having a look, seeing what they have in that town. I'd like get a B&B or a hotel for the night, and like, if the town's shit, I can leave. I can just, I like to imagine myself doing this in America a lot. So I've rented a car, maybe a Dodge Charger.
Or if you're really rich, you could just buy one that's kitted out and just not worry about it. And if it breaks or it gets trashed or whatever, you could buy brand new and everything,
Yeah, I could go to some like poor off children and like buy some country and buy some people's children. I could do that if I had a.
And then you could trade them for an iPod.
Yeah.
Remember iPods?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the shovel.
I like the shuffle. Do you remember when our dad had an iPod and he got it like 6 years after anyone was interested in iPods, and he could plug it into his car, and he was like, iPod?
Yeah, look at that. Nice
I think I know what you mean. I think that sounds pretty good. I don't think I'd want to travel to every country. I'd like to do a lot of traveling, but I think you've only got so much life, and I'd want to like spend a significant amount of time in some places in particular, like a good year. And you've only got so many years and things like that. But I know what you mean. One of my kind of dream trips that I've thought about, of if having unlimited money, would be to have one of those like fucking absolutely decked out RVs that you could essentially live in anywhere, and just like go all over America.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty fucking cool.
I want to recreate Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I've not actually seen that movie, but
I thought you did. I thought you watched it.
The one I watched was
and was like, oh, I don't
Leaving
like
Las Vegas or whatever with Christopher Eccleston. That's not who I mean.
Not
Who
Christopher.
do I mean? Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
That's the ADHD that served me up that name. It was like, that name's probably close enough to what you want.
It's so funny. I've just reimagined the entire movie, but
Christopher Eccleston in. By the way, I ordered some food that could turn up at any moment during this podcast. So that'll be
Nice.
fun when that arrives and I have to rush downstairs. I've been planning a trip to Asia at some point, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to afford to buy it early next year. It's one of these kind of like group trip things where you kind of pay some money and it's all kind of organized for you, because like, you know, organizing everything in Asia, I feel like is going to be a pain in the arse, and it actually makes it cheaper to go. So I think we're going to try and do that, because one of the places that I don't know why, I've just got a feeling that it'd be cool to visit is Vietnam.
Uh-oh.
What?
No, it's a good country now.
What? Just because there was a war there that one time?
Yeah, no,
That's nothing to do with us. We didn't war them.
No, we didn't do anything there. No, we were fine.
Yeah, it was America.
Yeah, we were all right.
There's a lot of history there, a lot of like kind of temples and all sorts, and then you've got like some of the best street food in the world. And I think it's just kind of like a slightly less thought of Asian country, because Thailand around those parts is like the biggest one. And the trip that we were looking at does go to Thailand. It's Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. So, you know, that sort of area I think would be pretty cool. I think part of what made me really want to go there is seeing the... oh, God. Oh, my phone's ringing. Let's see who it is. Hello?
Hiya, it's Connor from Just Eat. I'm just calling about your order. 8 minutes. The drivers had a blowout. They fixed the blowout now. They're on the way back. I mean, it should be waiting next 10 minutes if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Right, I'm going to press it on its way now.
Okay.
Like I said, we're just waiting on the driver if that's all right. Sorry about that.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, bye.
Bye. Is that a blowout? Is that some sort of euphemism? It's like he's just had a blowy and like, you know, he's a bit tired. He needs to have a bit of a rest before he can set off.
Listen, the bus boy was sucking him off in his car, and he's just come all over it. So he's come all over your pizza. So he's had to go get another one. He's had a blowout, Steve.
Yeah, great. I ordered their they've got like a really spicy burrito, so I thought that might be fun to try on podcast and see how spicy it is. But yeah, the Top Gear Vietnam special where they rode across Vietnam on motorbikes, and it looked fun. And they bought like tailored suits that were made overnight for like £8 and stuff like that. So I thought, wow, that sounds fun. I want to underpay an Asian person to make me a flamboyant suit. You know. So yeah, that's one of them. I remember you were talking about a trip to Canada at one point years ago.
Yeah, that was because this channel on YouTube that I've watched from like a very young age. They do like Warhammer content basically. Like they have battle reports and show it on there, but they're in Canada. But you can like go over like and stay at their sort of like, I don't want to call it a compound because compound always sounds threatening, but you know,
it always sounds like it's from a cult or something.
Yeah, like it's either it's a cult or it's like some sort of like, I don't know, like SS ghetto or something. You know that they you know. So yeah, but I was thinking about maybe going there at some point, and that's something I'd want to do, maybe one day. Like not even just hypothetically, just like actually one day when I've saved up enough money, just go to Canada.
It is kind of weird to want to go to somewhere where you know kind of people that you enjoy live, because I remember there's a guy that I've been like one of the guys on the Triforce podcast that is probably my favorite podcast that I listen to, Sips from there. I've been watching him for years, and he lives on Jersey, the island of Jersey, not New Jersey in America. He lives in Jersey, the island near England. And I kind of just thought, Jersey, I'm gonna go there then. I don't
specifically
really know
just
why. I wasn't like
him.
stalking him and wanting to see him or anything. I just thought, let's look up Jersey. Well, that might be interesting, and just kind of went.
Where does PewDiePie live in Japan now? Did he like move?
Yeah, he fully lives.
Yeah.
I guess it's technically in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Someone in chat's saying that they're in Canada, so you're welcome to stay with them if you need a place to stay.
Ooh.
You come stay with that
No,
stranger
man.
that you've never met before.
Yeah. Very kind offer. I am going to turn you down.
He'll never get there anyway. There's no chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird one. I had a nice time there. Another one is like, again, to do with the Yogscast, Bristol. I know their offices are in Bristol, and when my uncle died, he lived in Bristol, and I had to go to his house, and I was like, I'm in the city that those folks are in.
That's what you were thinking. Like your uncle was like dead at your feet in his house, and you're going, you know what? One of the Yogscast guys lives in the area.
So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. What other places is there? Like, is there any other places that you've wanted to visit just because like someone you like lives there?
Yeah. Well, it's not just because he lives there, but like I've always wanted to go to Vegas to do Vegas things, but like also Germa lives in Vegas, so it's like, you know, if I ever went to Vegas, I could maybe potentially meet Germa.
It's that bit closer to the person you like, isn't it? It's so weird talking about it like that, but it's just like, you know, my odds of bumping into this person have drastically gone up.
And no, I know that's the thing. It's like, I just feel like if I ever went on like some sort of like holiday or like, I don't know, stag do or some shit, and it was like in Vegas, I just feel like every time I walk around a corner, I'd just be like,
huh? You do that? the thing with Sips and Jersey to me was though, it's a small island. There's not that many people live there.
Yeah.
So I was like, the odds here are actually not like massively awful that I might bump into this guy. But you know, it wasn't the point. It was I was going and hoping it'd happen. I had one of the best mixed grills I've ever had there, and the shining bit of it was massive, and I could not eat it all. I was so full. The shining bit was the beans. They had their own bean recipe, and that's now made me think I want to make a bean recipe.
Bean recipe.
Anywhere else you can think of that in particular? Because like one of them for me was Sweden, but I went there.
I'd want to go to Japan, and I'd want to do all of the super kawaii anime fucking Tokyo shit. I've never been a big fan of that, but I'd just like to go see it in Japan just for its own, like, you know, culture and aesthetic.
Which bit of Japan is it then? Because there's temples and like beautiful parks, that sort of thing, you know, Japanese tradition stuff, or is it more the kind of like over technology, kind of like obsessed with you know, Pokemon type of bits?
That's what I was just gonna say. It'd be both. Like I'd want to go and see both sides of Japan. I'd want to go and see all this like weeb shit and like Tokyo, you know, the big city. But then I'd also like to just go see all the temples and all that stuff. So
I think that's what's maybe particularly interesting about it, isn't it? Because those things seem so different, but they're obviously so Japanese, both of them. So that does sound pretty interesting. Another one that I've thought is pretty interesting, it's to do with those trips. It's on G Adventures, it's called. The site we've seen for it is Mongolia. Mongolia seems like such a weird place, and I don't know. It just seems like super not like where we are.
No, I know, but like, what actually is going down in Mongolia? Because you really never hear anything. No, I know that's the thing we all hear about. You know what Mongolia used to be like, but then it's like, then what happened? After
my food,
after the
Google it, and tell the podcast about Mongolia. I don't fucking know. I'll tell them somewhere else you want to go.
I don't want to go to Mongolia. Oh, your food's here. I thought he said Matthew's here. I'm like, who the fuck's Matthew? I'm just gonna type in Google. What's the deal with Mongolia? Mongolia. What's the deal with Mongolia? Okay, it just sent me straight to the Wikipedia page. Oh, this is how you're supposed to say it. No, how are you supposed to say it? Give me the proper way. Oh no, I got it right. Okay. Mongolia. Bordered by Russia to the north and China to the south. Talk about being between a fucking rock and a hard place, am I right? Here we go. The territory of modern-day Mongolia has been ruled by various nomadic empires, including the Xiongnu?
Yep, the Chingchonganu.
Whoa, that is racist. Okay,
That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
I said the Xiongnu.
Oh. Well, I swear to God, I just heard my gate open. Like someone was coming to my door. Like, I swear it sounded just like it. I've just gone and opened my door. There's no one there.
Maybe it was a demon, and now you've just invited them in.
It says, enjoy your food. Uh-oh. And now I'm worried someone stole my food.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
but
well.
what could have happened? They opened the gate, then they weren't there. I don't know.
They were.
I'll sit
Did they
tight for a
fight?
bit longer. But
I think they fought in World War II.
oh, Mongolia, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, Mongolia. Is that? Were they the? Is it Gurkhas? Is that what it is?
No, Gurkhas are like
Gurkhas.
Indian or like, I think, or they're like Arabian or something. Gurkhas.
Gurkha. The Gurkhas with are soldiers native to the Indian subcontinent from
Yeah.
Nepal. That's it. From Nepal. I tried a Nepalese restaurant once, and it was like extra rich curry. It was very delicious, and they had a Gurkha beer, and it was also delicious.
Can I just say, now I want to go to Mongolia just because of this one picture. This has really got my cock hard. I've got a thing for like big buildings and wide open spaces, and that's got like both.
I guess, yeah, I suppose. It looks pretty cool. I mean, one of the experiences on that G Adventures thing is you kind of do like a big camel expedition, and you stay with like families in huts across the Mongolian like wilderness and stuff like that. It's a lot of money. It's like £2,500, not including flights. So per person, but it's for like 3 weeks or something, and it's obviously going to be incredibly authentic and everything. But I've thought we could do some movie and TV rating on the podcast today because I've not got much planned. Because we're still kind of coming off the back of the big 200 special, so
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
we kind of blew our load on that a bit. Or what did the guy say? Is that a blowout? We had a blowout.
Blowout. Yeah, we had a blowout.
So, some of these things on that I've added to the movie and TV rating spreadsheet that we have, I might have talked to you about before, but I can't remember because it's been a little while since we did some ratings. So,
Yeah.
I know this one I haven't talked to you about is One Piece.
The One Piece. Are we talking about the live action one?
No. I saw the live action one
Oh,
came
the
out,
actual
and
One
before
Piece.
that had come out, I kind of thought maybe I'll watch the anime of that because people seem to like it a lot, and it's got a lot of episodes. And if I wanted something that I could just play episode after episode while I'm working, that might be quite good. So yeah, I tried to watch the anime of it. It's kind of boring.
What did you think of the Yeah, what did you? I was just gonna say, what do you think of the singular piece? Boring.
Pretty much. I think I might try the live action Netflix one because obviously that's going to have to be a lot more concise. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably fine. I just found it boring. I think anime is really hard to be good.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 40 because I didn't like hate it for any reason. I just couldn't bring myself to like it. Not really sure why.
Now, here's one for you. I saw a video of somebody going around like an anime convention, and they were like, "Oh, who's the smelliest fan base?" And overwhelmingly, people said One Piece fans. So,
Really?
what do you think of that? Yeah, overwhelmingly, they were like, out of all of the anime like fan bases, I think it was between One Piece and My Hero Academia were the two smelliest fan bases.
I don't know.
So-
My Hero Academia is like set in a school, quite specifically, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine I would ever want to watch that.
I think it's they're in a school for superheroes. I think is the thing.
Oh.
Now, see, now you're into
Now
it.
I'm more interested.
Yeah,
School
yeah.
for superheroes, you say?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think
I think, especially like these animes that are like One Piece, that they're meant to be long. Like there's a lot of episodes per season. I don't think I like that, because I think a lot of it's filler, isn't it? Whereas like One Punch Man, for example, as an anime that I do like, that's not long. There's like a normal amount of episodes per season. It's like 8 to 10, which is a normal amount for a normal show's season, isn't it? So I think
to say that the show is a guy walking up to somebody, hitting them once, and then the episode's concluded, I think that's probably as fair as it can go.
It's like a comedy, and to be honest, a lot of One Punch Man isn't really centered around him. It's like the other characters, and he's kind of like this running joke of, but you could just punch them, and this would all be fine. But yeah, so I don't know. One Piece. If I gave it more of a shot and kind of stuck with it, I might enjoy it. But at the minute, I don't really care for it. I used to, when I was kind of like when I was a teenager, I would be more into stuff like that. Like I watched obviously all of Dragon Ball. I watched all of Fairy Tail as well, and I quite liked Fairy Tail. But I feel like if I'd never seen Fairy Tail and I tried to watch it now, I just don't give a shit about stuff like that enough.
No, I've just always like watched like just I don't know. I really usually don't like anime. I'll be honest with you. Like I just like anime pisses me off a lot, but there's certain ones that like they just get it right, and it's like I don't know what it is, because I don't know. Like I loved the Edge Runners anime. Like I love that. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I couldn't tell you specifically why. Like
I feel like it's when they're not trying to necessarily appeal to the anime audience. When they're trying to like appeal to just audiences, just anyone.
I also feel like they did that though, because what I want to say is like, oh well, the reason I don't like most anime is because it's far too crass, and like I know that sounds weird that me say, but you know what I mean? How like every like other episode, the protagonist is like, "Whoa, I've accidentally fallen into your tits, and now I'm squeezing them." Like like I hate that shit so much. Like it genuinely gets me angry. But like the thing is, Edge Runners is still a little bit like that, because like within the first like 20 minutes of the show, the guy's in a brain dance where he's in like a freeway. So it's like I can't say, oh well, at least the cyberpunk one's not crass.
I think it's context. Like in like One Piece or like Fairy Tail as an example, it's not really the time or place. They're like pirates trying to find treasure, or like magicians trying to defeat bad guys, or even like in Dragon Ball Z and stuff, they're like fighting stuff. Like it's not meant to be sexualized. I think Japan's just fucking horny, because an anime that I have been watching that I've actually been enjoying that's recently come out is Chainsaw Man. And I'm currently watching it. I've not fully finished it, and that is like really crass as well.
No, I know, because I watched a scene from that, and like the whole thing is like the one of the girls is like, "You get to touch my boob 3 times," and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, Jesus fucking Christ, how old is this main protagonist?
It's
Like genuinely. You like,
oh,
like,
he's
like,
an
like,
adult,
like-
100%. Yeah.
No, I know, but like the guy's going like.
I know, but it's the
like,
context of
it's
it. It's like overly crass. It's like even more so than you might normally see, and like it's quite funny in that sense. And it's basically that this guy's like.
I find it like creepy and
Yeah, but
weird.
you've seen one
It's like-
scene out of context of that show. Like it's
There's so many more. I bet there's so many.
there is a lot of scenes like that. But my point is that the rest of the context makes them make sense. It's funny. And there's no point me explaining it either because that doesn't do it justice to like understand
it's
why.
Like,
so
it's like, well, this character might look like a 5-year-old, but they're actually a 4,000-year-old demon inside, so it's okay to animate her in
no, it's not that. It's the motivations of why this guy's getting to feel some tits, and he's like, about it because like that guy totally would, and it's funny that he's been put into a bathroom with this like weird girl doing this to him.
Is it hilarious? Is it really
It's not
funny?
hilarious. It's just, this pisses me off when you do this so bad.
But
it
it's
annoys
like-
me
it's
so
like-
much because you've seen
and how
fuck all
many-
to do it. Oh, it's so.
How many?
You're
How
just
many
shitting
of
on
the
something you've not even
millions?
fucking seen. It's like
How
honestly.
How many of the millions of times are we going to see that bit in anime as well, though? Until like we just finally say, "Fine, yeah, we get it." You know, there's this dude who's not used to being around women, and now he's around women. Wowza! Like that's the joke. That's the joke, and they've been doing it for literally decades. And it's like, right, okay, we get
There's
it.
obviously a lot more to it than that in this show, which you need to watch the show to know.
Yeah,
And there's no
She's a
point.
funny girl.
There's no point me like trying to tell you all the different reasons why either, because then it doesn't have the same impact as when it actually happens and you watch it how it's meant to be presented. It's not a show that's meant to be taken seriously at all. It's same with like the violence and the combat and stuff. It's like over the top and like gory as fuck. It's like, you know, when it's you know, certain like movies that are like the action, you know, I've not actually seen them, but I feel like, you know, like Evil Dead, I feel like that's probably like that.
Yeah.
And there's certain films like that are like over the top and like silly, and the violence is like ridiculous, but that's like part of the appeal, that it's, you know, it's not taking itself seriously at all, things like that. It's like that, and I've given it a 69 because that's funny sex number.
Look, sex.
What's up with you today that you're so fucking boring? What's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you so like dismissive of everything today? It's like, oh, that's fucking shit. Oh, I'm not.
No,
yeah, I'm
you
not
know what?
interested in that 'cause it's shit.
I just don't like the Japanese.
Jesus Christ. What
Let's
have
talk
you been
about-
watching? Anything?
I watched. Actually, I don't know if this is on the thing. I've been watching Good Omens with my
Oh,
nana.
Good Omens is shit. He's so pretend. You know, hell and heaven. Oh, Jesus again. Am I right? We've seen that before. Fucking, what's his
that's
face?
the next
Matt
season.
Eccleston or whatever fucking Doctor
No.
Who cringe is doing that. What a fucking cringe cunt. Won't even do his own Scottish accent. Oh, shit.
Isn't in this one.
That's
and I don't
you!
get why
That's you! You're doing that! That's what you're like!
No, mine has merit though.
No, it doesn't! You've not fucking
it's
seen
not,
the thing! Fucking hell!
Well,
Good
I'd give
Omens
it-
is
I'd
on
give-
here, but I've not seen the second season, so maybe it changes. Do you want to see what your score is?
What's my score? Yeah.
That's what your score is, you bitch.
Okay.
Good Omens. Judd has scored Good Omens 85 out of 100.
Yeah, that's gonna go down.
Oh, yikes.
Not mass. I don't know, to like a 68.
Oh, that is a big chunk down.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because the first season was incredible. I gave it 85 as well.
And I think the thing is with this season is that you really think it's going to be good, something good. I like to consider myself a little bit of a Bible nut, if you will, just because I like a lot of the stories from like any sort of religious text. Like I genuinely think like religion can make for really good stories. So the first time that they were doing the first season they were doing it, they were doing Armageddon, and they were doing the whole thing of like, it was the Antichrist being born into the world and bringing up 1,000 years of darkness and stuff. So that was the whole sort of like obstacle. That was the thing that they were trying to sort of like stop, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then they had this second season come out, and they're sort of like building up to something like that again. And what I was thinking that they were doing in this... How much do you care about spoilers, by the way?
A lot, because I've not seen it and I really want to.
Okay. Well, I thought that they were going to do the Rapture. So basically, it's another apocalyptic event, basically, from the Bible. But instead of it like being hell's version of the apocalypse, it's like heaven's version of the apocalypse in a way, because the Rapture is Jesus coming back. It's the second coming of Jesus, and like all of the
incredibly like spoilers.
Well, no, it's not, because this doesn't happen. So it's the idea of Jesus coming back, and the good people, like the true believers, being raptured to heaven, and like all of the bad people staying down on Earth, and like Earth getting fucked up. I thought that's what it was gonna be, and I was like getting excited for that. I was like gearing up for it, and you'll see when it like gets to the end of that season, the reason for why all the weird spooky shit's going on is really like, oh, all right.
Well, based off what you've said today, I bet it's great. Because you've been fucking hating everything today.
Because you just want to be Mr. Contrarian.
No, because you've been Mr. Contrarian fucking hating everything today.
No, I hated the one thing.
I present you with like an interesting premise talking about, you're like, actually, I don't think that's ever justifiable. And then you base your entire opinion off something that I've enjoyed off one fucking scene that's actually pretty funny in the context of things. No, I'm not saying it's incredible or anything like that, but it's like... Anyway,
it was funny when he grabbed the lady booby.
It was. You're jealous because you didn't get to grab that lady's boobies, aren't you, Jed?
I am.
Do you want to hear about a very medium show?
Yeah, go on then. It's not the name.
For fuck's sake, here he goes again. Fine, go on then. Oh, God. Voices here today. Oh, God. Jesus. You know you reminded me of right now? You're reminding me of fucking, what's his face? The paranoid android on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What's his name?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
What's he called? Marvin. That's the one. Oh God. I tried to watch a show called The Prank Panel because it's got Eric Andre and Johnny Knoxville in it.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I've seen like clips, or I've seen a trailer or something.
Is
it ass?
So medium. It's really medium.
Okay.
It's like a lot of shows like that are quite bad, but it's not too bad. Like the pranks they do are a bit better than you'd expect. They're a bit more raunchy, maybe a bit more kind of vulgar.
Sorry, did you say
that's not that raunchy or vulgar is the main thing that makes it good, but a lot of the time on these shows, that's the bit that like they really have to force them to hold back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you say it was Andre and Knoxville?
Yeah.
How often are people going, oh my God, you're Eric Andre and Johnny Knoxville?
They don't do the pranks. It's like they orchestrate the pranks. They're more like hosts than anything else, so they kind of get other people to do the pranks. And there's also a third host, which is this lady who seems to never fucking do anything. And I don't know why she's even there. She's like just annoying, if anything. But it was medium.
Jake.
I just stopped watching
how
it.
you feel about women comedians.
If you want to she's a black woman as well, if that helps me to seem awful.
No!
that's obviously not the reason, but she just like I watched 3 or 4 episodes of it, and I think she was involved with like one prank in that whole thing, and other than that, she literally like boasts about not wanting to be involved with some of the other ones. It's just like, that's your fucking job. What are you talking about? Like, what? It just, I don't know. But the pranks were fine. They were quite funny, I guess. They weren't great though. I don't know, 50.
Yeah.
Another
Is
very
it
medium
more-
thing.
Oh, sorry,
Shazam,
last question
Fury of
out.
the Gods.
Okay, all right. I'll not get that question in then. I guess.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, is it more Knoxville or Andre? You know what I mean, don't you? Because like, I feel like Andre is more absurdist and Knoxville is more slapstick.
It
So-
depends who's organising the prank. So
Okay.
they kind of, one of the panel decides to help someone with a prank.
Okay.
So it depends. Yeah,
So
it was
Andre's
mostly Johnny
like-
Knoxville, I think, out of
Yeah.
in the episodes I saw. But
Andre's like, we're gonna go up to the sleeping homeless man and ejaculate on his face. Come help.
that's the thing, though. They're quite neutered in that aspect. They obviously can't
Yeah.
do something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. They went a bit more ridiculous than other shows would, but not a lot.
But was it Balls of Steel? It
No.
kinda.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much
Yeah.
as that. Balls of Steel, aged like fine wine. That has.
Fucking. Wait, did I ever tell you that like when we were having a party one time over at a friend's house, we ended up just like watching old episodes of Balls of Steel and like weeping for the fact that we'll like never have a show like this air on TV
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah,
Like
you can't on the
just-
internet either, because you'll just get cancelled and
No.
you'll never be able to get a fucking
Yeah.
job again. Which is a
Yeah.
shame. But yes, Shazam Fury of the Gods, it's so mid, there's nothing to say about it. It's just like the most medium, fairly bland superhero film ever. Like, it's unbelievable how medium it is.
What is actually going on with DC though?
Oh, is the food here? Is the food here? Yep, it is. Finally. Fucking hell.
jeez.
I don't know. Ask him some questions. Here we go.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get to the fucking bottom of this. I'm gonna type in what's the deal with DC movies? What's the deal with DC? Yeah, here we go. Google already knew what I was talking about. Recent disappointing box office returns for DC Studios projects pose challenges for the upcoming DC Universe reboot. Led by James Gunn and Peter Safran, DC's live-action films, I'm talking about DC, have been criticized for their darker and grittier tones. But even that anymore. Like, I saw the last Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my god! Like, you know, are they even the darker and grittier ones anymore?
I don't
Like-
know. It depends. Like, The Flash wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I haven't seen a lot of the previous stuff because, like, after the last 3 fucking Snorefests I went to go see, I just thought, well, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm good.
It's very hit or miss for me. I like superhero stuff, so I still kind of go and see some of them. But for example, the next Aquaman, I won't be going to see that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's gonna go see the new
No.
Aquaman.
So it's hard. It's hard to say. But
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like the DC. They seem to like have these one-off movies where, like Joker.
oh my god,
or-
sorry, you're fucking kidding me.
What?
I ordered a fucking burrito
Okay.
with loaded fries. They
Yeah.
forgot my fucking burrito.
Jeez.
After all of that, they've taken over an hour.
What? Like,
Fucking
you-
hell.
did you order just the burrito and the fries?
No, I ordered an Inferno burrito and loaded fries, right?
Okay.
Then I also ordered a side of... Alright, they're knocking at the door again. Let me go see if it's that. Oh my god.
Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Don't worry, guys. Let's. What should we figure out what's going on with now? What's the deal with Ellen DeGeneres? What's going on with her? What happened with her last? The Ellen DeGeneres show is coming to an end after the upcoming 19th season following allegations its host oversaw a toxic workplace environment. I knew that, but what
What a
happened after?
shambles! I'm so sorry for the
Did they get-
quality
did
of this podcast. They brought the fucking burrito up. This
Nice.
guy hopped out of the car and said, "Sorry, other driver forgot that." It was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, my colleague's incompetent."
Yeah,
Fuck me.
nice one.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the next thing I've seen. Megan.
Meghan!
Do you know what this is?
Yeah, it's the little robed girl who's like,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm a robed, and you don't mess with me too much because I'll snap and I'll get you."
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all right. It was a little bit, I don't know, a little bit cringe.
It's a little bit too far fetched.
It was a little bit funny at some points. I don't know. I give it a 54. I can't remember much about it, honestly.
I've told you my thing, haven't I? Where like there's certain phrases or like sentences that like are so cringe to me, like that are said in movies and TV and stuff, that like it's almost like do you know like the power words from like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's like power word kill, like somebody just says it and like you immediately shrivel up and die. It's like that to me, and one of them, I almost feel like I'm gonna be sick, like I'm about to say it. One of them that always just makes me feel like so ill with cringe is, "Now is the part where you run." I hate that sentence. I
Yeah.
hate anybody ever saying that in any medium now. It's that what was that animated movie about the girl who was a shapeshifter, and it was like high fantasy, and she was helping
Nimona.
that guy who was Nimona. I have not watched that movie to this day because I know for a fact she says that line at some point. Like I saw a trailer for it on YouTube. I was watching. I was like going, "Yeah, all right. Yeah, this looks good, yeah." And then she said that, and I went, I'm not watching it. I skipped the ad, I went, I'm not watching it.
I have seen that movie, and I quite enjoyed it, but I also...
Yeah.
I don't blame you either for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Megan,
So,
it's the type of movie that I think, like, teenagers might enjoy, you know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the reason I bring that up is because I know for a fact at some point she says those words, and I was like, right,
What,
okay,
in
I'm
that
not-
movie as well, in Megan?
Yeah. I know for a fact at some point in Megan she goes, "This is the part where you should run," which is even worse because she's doing it in like a snarky attitude, like
Yeah.
the snarkier that you do it. Because it's already a snarky comment anyway, but the snarkier you go with it, the more I hate you. There's one time somebody has said that in his movie that has been slightly manageable, and that was in Shrek. When he puts the fucking torch out and he goes, "Now's the part where you ran away." That was a bit more forgivable because it only had a little sprinkle of smirk in it of a snark,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things.
I know. I don't even know what else to say about that film because it's pretty much
Yeah.
exactly what you'd expect,
Yeah.
and that is fine, but not great. Barbie. I know I talked to you about Barbie. You still want to watch that, don't you? And I'm guessing you haven't
Well,
seen it.
No, I wasn't too bothered. I actually ended up just watching a reaction of Barbie, so I know what happens.
Right. Well, I'm not going to go through the details of it. Other than the fact that it kind of had political messaging that was fucking all over the place.
Yeah, it did, and now seeing that, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't really know what the message was supposed to be there, because it's like you've got this whole like, oh yeah, Ken is like seeing, I don't know, this sort of like really sort of like man focused. I don't know, because it's
Real
like
world, our world.
the thing is though, he goes to the real world. You can't even say that's a representation of the entire world, though, because he literally
Exactly.
comes to the real world, sees like sort of like 6 or 7 dudes working out and like complimenting each other's like progress on their body, and then he goes, "Ah, yes, the whole world is like this." I don't know. It was just weird.
Again, you're basing your opinion of that off of like one fucking. So you're not seen the film. Like I even agree with you this time, but he does do a lot more than that. But the thing is, like the representation of the world is still off.
Yeah, no, but it's. I guess it was weird. It was like I don't know. It was like she was almost going, yes, in Barbie's world, it is all about Barbie and it's more female centered, and that's sort of okay. But it being about men and Ken, ooh, that is bad.
Yeah, that's basically what the messaging that Barbie was trying to say, and it was weird because basically Ken is from this world where everything's about Barbie. Everything's for Barbie. And fuck you to all the Kens. They literally don't even have a place to live, the Kens, right? It's Barbie's dream house, and he gets fucking kicked out all the time. Like, he doesn't get to sleep anywhere. And he goes into the real world, realizes his worth, and that men like can actually offer something, comes back, kind of presents this to the Barbie land. Everyone's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Even the Barbies enjoy it. Like, even all the Barbies are like, this is great. I don't really have to worry about anything anymore. I just bring a guy a soda, like, kiss him a bit. It's good. And it's seen as, like, a bad thing. And then, basically, all the non-brainwashed, in quotes, Barbies, have to unbrainwash the other ones, and then they try and turn the Kens against each other by, inviting them to the beach and asking them to play a song for them. So the Kens have wrote a song for their Barbies, they're pouring their heart out in a song, and then the Barbies purposefully try and make the Kens feel bad about themselves by going and listening to a different Ken's song.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose. They literally manipulated it. It's literally saying, manipulate your men and be horrible to them and make them feel bad. That's literally what they do.
It really is. It really is going, oh, well, if your man starts getting too out of control and doing too much of what he wants, then, I don't know, play around with other men and make him feel bad.
And as that was happening, I was literally being like, no fucking way. That's horrid.
Yeah.
And they then try and pit the Kens against each other and make them have a civil war or something, which already is, like, ridiculous. Then they start, like, fighting each other, and it results in them all getting along really well. So, all this, like, aggressive bullshit that they've been so pissed off about, the own movie has shown that brings them all closer together. But the Kens still get punished for it, because they don't get to vote on anything. It's just... That's just one instance. A lot of that movie was fucking weird. This food's shit, by the way. I'm fully leaving a 1-star review of this place. It's fucking awful. It's honestly, I'm gonna send you a picture of. I ordered chicken and mince loaded fries with parmesan and truffle. Let me take a picture of this. I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook.
Parmesan and truffle. What the fuck?
Sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds really nice.
It's just bizarre. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like you'd have caviar on it as well.
And it's shit.
Yeah.
So, have a look at that.
What have you sent me?
This burrito, it's full of, like, cheap shit rice and salad. The mince is awful in it. It's supposed to be
hold on. What? Loaded fries? Loaded with what?
Yeah,
loaded
I know.
with fucking blanks?
It's supposed to be mega hot, this burrito. I think, it might be content. It might be mega spicy for me. It's not even a little bit, but it's like the tiniest bit spicy. It's absolute. I'm never ordering from here again. It's fucking awful. What else have I watched? Something that it's not new that I've watched, but I've changed my score of, is Disenchantment.
Was that was the Seth MacFarlane?
No, it's the
What's his face?
fantasy setting Futurama people.
Yeah. No, Matt Groening. That's
Groening,
it.
that's the one.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
It's getting worse and worse. Honestly, it's just like
Yeah.
annoying and complicated to follow. It's like they don't actually know where they want the story to go. They're kind of just sending it in directions and making some jokes along the way. It started off pretty interesting and mysterious, and then it kind of revealed a bunch of stuff, but not like finalized the story. And then they've kept the story going. It's kind of like still going, and they're trying to keep being mysterious, but it's like, it's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I was never too bothered on it. I definitely watched season 1 and 2. I don't know if I watched season 3. But I was never bothered. Yeah.
Also, the first couple seasons, I'm still keeping the score up a bit, but the last season and especially this season, which I've just stopped watching it now. I'm not even gonna keep watching it. It's gone from like a 76 or something like that down to a 60 for me.
Yeah.
And you have to obviously bear that overall. Did I ever tell you my score for Oppenheimer?
I don't know. Did you? I can't remember.
Well, I gave it a 60 out of 100, which for me is a pretty good score for a movie like that. I'm not going to say much else about it because I don't know if you've seen it, and I think you'll want to watch it, won't you? So, that's Oppenheimer. Chainsaw Man, I've given a 69 so far. I finished The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
What did you think of The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
I liked it. It was good. It was like a fun Western setting bit. There was multiple occasions where I was like, oh, whoa. Like I actually reacted to the story. And I gave it a 73. One or two of the stories in the kind of anthology of the movie were mildly boring. But
I was just gonna say it's actually a series of stories, isn't it?
Yeah, which really it just needed to be a series. But I don't know. There was at least something interesting about every story in it. Some were not like that interesting, but a little bit, and some were like really pretty interesting. So I give it a 73. I think it was pretty fun. It's probably my favourite thing the Coen brothers have ever done, because they're one of those like directors that are all like artsy and make movies shit as a result.
Yeah, what have they done before?
I don't know. Do a little Google.
Oh God, I'm painting a little plastic man, and you're asking me to type stuff.
We obviously don't give a shit about this podcast, do they do it? The Coen Brothers movies, they did A Serious Man, Miller's Crossing, Hail Caesar, fucking Fargo they did. The Big Lebowski is one of their biggest ones that they did.
Okay, that's where I've heard them from then, yeah.
Yeah, that's shit as well.
I'm not I don't mind it, but it's not, I get what you mean by like it's boring.
They did Suburbicon as well, with Matt Damon.
Never heard of that one.
That one was
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
The last thing that's been building up, seeing as we've not rated anything in a little while, is the new Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I've not watched one since the Crystal Skulls, so...
Well, there's not been one out since the Crystal Skull.
Oh, okay. I thought there was. Okay.
No.
Well,
it's good. I like it. I give it a 79. Pretty solid. I was interested.
I kind of think Harrison Ford's just waiting to die now, though. It's the thing. I think it's just like, oh God, get me off of this planet.
He really should stop doing Indiana Jones movies for sure, because he's old as fuck. And honestly, like, he's doing stuff in this movie. It's like, even a fit person of his age, it's like, could you really do that? And I do think they try and compensate and don't make him be doing like crazy acrobatics or anything like that anymore. But even so, it's like it's a bit far fetched for him now. Are you gonna watch this one, by the way? Interesting spoilers. So
Just tell me.
they've gotten to that stage where they're running out of ideas because time travel, you know.
Oh, why? Like, that's what I never got. Why did they start doing that in Indiana Jones? Like, it was cool when he was like raiding temples and stuff, and like, you know, they had a little bit of like they had spirituality stuff in it because like they had the Ark of the Covenant and stuff. But it was like, it's just, I don't know. He started getting wacky. They were like aliens, and we're like, well, okay. I don't know.
To be honest, I've never understood this complaint too much because it's always been weird. Like, when that guy was going, Kalima, and just, like, ripping a dude's heart out. Like, it's always been, like, supernatural.
I almost... That, though, doesn't necessarily have to be supernatural. Like, there's tribes and cults out... Well, and there's tribes and cults out there that, like, rip people's hearts out and, like, you know...
Not, like, with magical hands.
Yeah, no, that could be attributed to, like, the dude knowing how to do that. Like, I don't know. Like,
no.
There's guys who, like, punch their hands through bricks and stuff. You know, tell me you don't...
Yeah,
that guy knows
how hard you hit. You can't go up to my house and punch a brick out of it.
No, I'll just punch a bit out of you. Punch your heart out. Just get it...
I don't know. It's always been a bit fantastical, I think, Indiana Jones. And yeah, it might be getting more ridiculous. I think the more ridiculous end of it was more like a Fast and Furious style ridiculous, where he survived a nuke by being in a fridge. You know, that sort of thing's ridiculous. I don't think time travel's that much of a stretch for the series, but time travel as a concept shows that you're running out of ideas.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Unless the foundation is built on time travel.
Yeah, unless that's the point.
Doctor Who. Yeah, like, but you know, I feel like when you go, oh, this one's about time travel, it is the sort of point when you go, here's the white flag for my franchise. I you know, the horse is thoroughly beaten to death.
There's a moment in it where you think that Indiana Jones might be staying in the past. Like, to kind of it's almost like him dying without him having to die. And in a way, I think that's a decent send-off that's not just him dying. You know what I mean? But, no, he just goes back. And he doesn't die either. It's just like, oh, great.
I'm still here.
So, yeah.
Still making these fucking movies.
That's what I've been watching there.
Have you seen the trailer for the new season of Rick and Morty?
I have, with the new voices.
Yeah, I think they sound great. I gotta be honest with you.
I was listening to it and thinking the same. Yeah. Like, this doesn't really sound any different at all.
Yeah, I was like, I can't hear it at all with Morty, but like, I could very slightly hear it every now and again with Rick. But
depending on what he's saying.
Yeah, depending on what he's saying. But it's like, it was so minusculely different. Like, I don't know if they might not even, like, make any mention of it. Like, because in Solar Opposites, it was like this whole thing, weren't it? It was like, oh, it's a completely, you know, I know it's a completely voice actor this time, but it's like, it's a completely new voice for Corvo. But in this, they might just go, here's the next episode of Rick and Morty. Like,
I think they will. But it's weird, though, because what's going on? Because didn't Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland both have individual controversies?
Yeah, Dan Harmon's one was a bit ago, I think.
Right.
And I don't think it was as severe. Because like, Justin Roiland had straight up been, like, everybody thought, well, his wife had, like, got him on abuse or domestic abuse or something, and like false imprisonment or whatever, but like those I think turned out to be like either not true or unfounded or whatever. Like he got acquitted in the end, like he didn't end up getting sentenced for it. But in the light of all of this investigation that was going on into him, a lot of younger girls, or like, you know, I'd say a lot, like maybe like one or two younger girls came out and were like, oh, Justin's been messaging us. And lo and behold, he'd been like messaging 14-year-old girls. So it's...
And was that ever proven either?
No, that was proven. Like we know for a fact was happening.
Right.
But yeah, so
did you know how old they were?
Justin. I'm pretty sure he knew. I gotta be honest with you, it's not really something I've kept super up to date on.
Yeah.
I could just be completely lying and besmirching his entire character. Who knows?
I have not a clue either. Maybe I'll look into it when the new season comes out to kind of find out, because I would be interested to know, because it kind of... I remember him being proven innocent for one of the things, probably that you're on about with his wife. And thinking, and then I remember seeing this and thinking, well, I can totally see how they'd just abandon him, whether it was proven or not, because that happens too often.
Yeah,
nowadays.
that happens. Yeah. No, so that was proven to be bullshit, but then this other shit came out, and it's like, oh well, okay.
But it's always sus, isn't it, when someone's in hot water for some sort of thing involving the opposite gender or something like that. And then that's when people start coming out. You know? It's like, it's super convenient. That's the time people choose. And it's so annoying, because if these things actually genuinely happened, it's incredibly serious, and we want to be able to take them more seriously, and we don't want to look on a situation like that with suspicion. But choosing to do it at a time like that, obviously, initially has some sort of suspicion to it. But, well, whatever the case, hopefully no one's been hurt, and hopefully the right things happened, because we don't actually know shit. Well,
and hey, maybe the next voice of Rick won't be a goddamn pedophile, huh?
Should they even do more Rick and Morty? Should this season even come out?
I don't know. I'd see the joke for me always was 100 episodes Rick and Morty, forever and ever. So like, did they do 10 episodes per season?
I don't know.
Okay, because if it is, then I'd say season 10 just for the bit of
the meme,
for the meme of 100 episodes Rick and Morty forever and ever. But like, but then like it's dead in the ground. Leave it.
I just think people don't give a shit much anymore. And, Justin Roiland being gone, the guy who voices both the main characters, it's a pretty good excuse. And I just kind of figured that it would be dead.
I didn't think it'd be dead. It's like it's Adult Swim. It's Adult Swim, isn't it, in America? Yeah. It's like the biggest cash cow right now. So I couldn't going down. It's like, it's like another Family Guy, basically, or like another Simpsons. Really, it's like a lightning trapped in a bottle thing. It took off, and they won't want to fucking get rid of that.
Yeah, so, I just wondered if they might be a bit scared of it.
No, I could see them maybe having maybe 2 or 3 more seasons, and then going, okay, now people aren't too bothered about this, let's maybe think about axing it.
It might be that this season is what kills it. People might just not give a shit anymore. Which I'd be fine with.
I'm not, I was never super bothered about Rick and Morty. I've watched every episode, and I think it's all right, but I've never been crazy about it. I won't be bothered if it stopped.
It had a lot of potential, and it's kind of just a shame what happened to it, I think.
Yeah. Rick just started getting on my fucking tits. I just started, like, I know you're not supposed to like him, but like, to a point where I'm just like, oh god, I'd actually rather be following anybody else's story right now than Rick.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of like a similar thing that I've seen in another show that I've been watching with Jasmine. Yeah. I know that there's shows where you're not meant to like the main character.
Yeah.
And it's all very well and good having it like that. But then you've got to spend loads of time with a character that you don't like. Like, whether it's meant to be like that or not, that's not a pleasant experience.
The only times where that's really successfully pulled off is like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, mainly because most of the time they get their comeuppance. Like, it's like, yeah, these are terrible, stupid people, but like, look how they fuck themselves up as much as they fuck up the environment around them.
Yeah.
Whereas like it in Rick and Morty, you're almost kind of forced to, in some regards, like subscribe to Rick's beliefs because you're with him for so long. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's you're constantly getting his sort of rhetoric shoved down your throat, and it's like, you know, the intention of the show might not be to make you like agree with that rhetoric, but it's still because that's what I'm hearing all the time. You know, that's kind of what I'm getting, but it's not like that in shows like Always Sunny in Philadelphia because
They're
the
still
point is purely
endearing
just
as
to laugh.
characters, is the thing. They're still
Yeah.
endearing. Like, you know they're bad, and that's the entire point. It's really obvious.
Yeah.
And they get their comeuppance all the time, but that's, like, they're still enjoyable characters to be around, you know?
Yeah.
Being along for the ride of their awful, terrible adventures and seeing them get their comeuppance, that's the enjoyment. Whereas with like Rick, it's and the example I would kind of want to say that I've just changed the score of is Sex Education. You know that show?
I know of it.
The first few seasons, I think we're on season 4 or 5, I can't remember, which is the last season that I'm currently watching. I've not seen every episode. The first ones, the characters were like nice, I guess. I don't know how to describe them. Like, they weren't particularly like particularly flamboyant personalities or anything like that were like notable. It's just that they were like reasonably fun people to be around, and they were having these kind of like sex related issues, and kind of some embarrassing stuff would happen, and some dramas, but like not too heavy dramas all the time would happen, and things like that. And now I don't know how they've managed to make every character, like nearly every character, is such a fucking pain in the ass to be around. I fucking hate them. It's hard to describe. You've not seen the show, so there's not too much point telling you much about it, but I don't know what they must. I swear to God, they must have got different writers for this season. You can tell sometimes, can't you?
Yeah.
And it's the final season. What should happen in a show is you start your show with your core characters, right? And as seasons move on, when you get towards maybe the middle of the show, that's when you might have the most characters. You know, the show's expanded, you can follow more people. And then as it's winding down to the last season, you want to kind of tie up more and more characters' stories. And then you probably just end up with your core characters as your last stories to be tied up. There might be other characters there, but they're the last stories to be tied up. That's not what they've fucking done at all in this season. Half the characters that are here for the last season and brand new. Like, new characters. It's like, what are you going to do with them then? You've got one season for that character. There's no way their story is ever going to be fleshed out. And it kind of, because we're spending so much time on them, it means that the story for, like, the main core characters, you're not getting enough of it. It's like there's massive time jumps. We see, like, there's a scene where there's these two women sipping fucking vodka in a cinema. And it looks like they've taken 2 sips each and then they're pissed. Like, they're really fucking pissed and they get kicked out. Because we're having to jump to all sorts of different stories to kind of, like, that they've introduced for some reason just in the final season. And then when you cut back to them, I think you're supposed to think that they've been there for like a good hour or so, like guzzling vodka. But it just looks like they've had 2 sips each. And it's like stuff like that. It's just like, it's shit. It's not good this season. And
yeah,
we've noticed this before, but every time something seems to be good, like a franchise is kind of building and being consistently good, and it's like, oh, thank goodness that this franchise is at least reliable and been good this whole time. I've got something that I can look towards. It always finds a way to get shit. Every time. Marvel's getting worse and worse, and they seem to be doing a good job at, like, holding back the dam a bit and not taking a nosedive into complete shit. But they're getting worse and worse, and I've just seen an advert for the downfall of one of your favourite franchises, Judd. Can you guess what it is? I'm just predicting it now.
Is it Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, because that's still part of Marvel.
Oh, what, the downfall? What, like, that's not part of Marvel?
It's not part of Marvel. It's one of your favourite kind of franchises, series.
What is it? The Warhammer one on Amazon?
No, it's The Boys.
Oh, is it the Gen V thing?
Yes. Now,
Yeah,
it looks,
okay, yeah.
it don't look necessarily bad from the trailer or anything,
Yeah.
but I can just, can you not feel it? Can you not feel the
I can
downfall
feel
just about to happen?
I can feel it. I know. I get the sort of feeling that you get with that one, but I don't know. With that one, it's going to be have to like watch and see. But I know what you're talking about.
We'll
so.
see. Obviously, we'll see. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to be dog shit and it's going to bring it, like, it's going to really bring the franchise down. It'll probably be maybe mid or like just a slightly good. You know what I mean? And it might be good enough to justify expanding the universe even more, and then that'll be shit. And then they'll try one last time, and that'll be absolutely abysmal, and it'll kill the series. That's my prediction. Because it happens all the time. Like, even Lord of the Rings as a media franchise, the original trilogy, fantastic. One of the best trilogies ever. The Hobbit, I didn't mind it much. I quite liked it, but there was definite flaws there, 100%.
Yep.
Then, you know, you had even with the games of Lord of the Rings, Shadow of Mordor games and everything like that. And then Gollum,
Oh no,
Gollum game, like
Oh, no.
fucking hell. And the Lord of the Rings series, oh my god, it's trash. Star
Fucking
Wars,
terrible.
prime example. Original trilogy, wow, amazing. Prequels, what? Politics.
yeah.
E.T.'s there. What? Then the sequels. Why is Ray floating rock? She's had one lesson ever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. How much
Yeah.
can you fuck this? Like, every single franchise. Can you think of a single franchise that hasn't gone to shit? Any of them?
No, and you know what? I was thinking about this literally this morning. One of the most horrific book to movie adaptations I've ever seen was Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
I do you know what Artemis Fowl is, Jake?
I've heard of Artemis
noise?
Fowl.
I fucking loved the Artemis Fowl books. He's so basically, imagine Sheldon Cooper, but he's evil and he's trying to like make a lot of money, basically, to like. His family used to be like super rich and like powerful, like the Fowl family used to like have a lot of power. And then like his father went missing, the family estate went into ruins, and like his mum like went fucking schizophrenic and crazy because like she lost her husband and like all her wealth and everything. So he's like at like 13 years old, he's like trying to use his genius to like steal a bunch of money from fairies. It's a good book. It's a great book, but like one of Artemis's like core traits is that he's an incredibly like unsociable boy who spends most of his time plotting in like the basement of his house, like meticulously going over and over plans in like a dark room in his basement, making sure everything's like right. And the first shot of the movie is him on a surfboard on the beach, like doing some sick gnarly tricks, brah. It's like, what? It's like it's literally it's the same as if the Harry Potter movies would have started with Harry underneath the stairs doing like a sick guitar solo on like a guitar like on an amp. Like, it's that ridiculous. It's like, what are you talking about? That's the complete opposite of the character.
Artemis Fowl's nothing to do with the Dark Tower movie, is it?
No.
That was another franchise that really failed in its first hurdle as well. I don't know what it was meant to be. But...
the Dark Tower was Stephen King. Essentially, the Dark Tower was a series of novels in like Stephen King's like universe of books and stuff that tied like all of the universes together, I think. The Dark Tower was like supposed to slowly start introducing that, and then it was just shit. So
right, I genuinely believe that every franchise goes to shit eventually, and it's so sad. One of the shining lights that I had for a series that had gone on for a long time and it didn't go to shit. If anything, it only got better, and I would look towards that and be like, oh, thank God someone did decent, was Harry Potter. It was that because
Yeah.
there were a lot of movies in that series start with the actual Harry Potter series of it in the movies, and there weren't a single bad one, not a single bad one. They were all really good. Every single one of them was really good, and a lot of them were excellent. And then they were like, "We're gonna do some like prequels. We're gonna do Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them prequels." And because it was so consistently good, I was like, "Oh, okay, pretty cool." I'm not getting mega excited for it because it's still prequels. It's not, So, and then I watched it. Cracking movie. I liked it. Really solid movie. The second one was fucking awful. It was awful. It was so shit. And I was sat through it thinking, wait, this is bad. How is it bad?
What happened?
I don't even know what to say about it. Listen, Private Agent has dropped into our Kick chat. Fuck you. No, shut up. Banned. Game banned. Fucking.
Was it some?
Hi, could you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like my content? I'll follow. No. I'm not even just timing you out. I'm sick of that shit. That's the only thing that we don't allow on our live streams. It's advertising, and that's all we fucking get. So, yeah. Every single one of them. Harry Potter, it's gone to shit. Like, I've not even... Has it come out? Has the latest Fantastic Beasts 3, has that come out? Where they replaced fucking Johnny Depp with Mads Mikkelsen and just didn't say anything about it? Because Johnny Depp, who was decidedly innocent in his whole famous trial, gets replaced to be in this film. But, Ezra Miller... Yeah. He's fine.
And by the way, so is Amber Heard. She's still gonna be in the next Aquaman
as well.
Movie.
It's just nuts. It's everyone fucks everything up all the time. Do you know what I would even say as well as another one that's it works with it's same thing with video games. Borderlands. I think Borderlands is going to shit. I honestly don't think Borderlands has gotten personally, I don't think it's gotten to the point where I'm like, that game was bad. I don't think I've gotten to that point yet, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, that game was iffy. You know what I mean? It's
I really think they're on the fucking precipice now. Borderlands, they're literally just on that edge. And literally the next game will decide whether or not they fucking get tipped off of that edge.
Yeah.
Because if the next one is shit, Borderlands now still is one of those franchises where I'm like, yes, I will buy it. You've got my ass in that seat. I'm there, but fuck me over again. Do it again, and
yeah, exactly.
I won't stay in that
I'm
seat.
like that as well, for sure.
Yeah.
And honestly, Harry Potter was kind of like that, but I think I'm out. Because I've not watched the latest Fantastic Beasts, and I never thought I wanted to either. There's not a moment where I was like, oh yeah, I might watch that. I was just not even a little bit interested. And I think a big part of it was to do with the last one being bad. It's really bad. And then also the whole thing about him swapping the actor and everything. I'm like, I'm going to be so thrown off by that film because it's basically a different guy. And then it's like, it just makes the story feel like a completely different thing. And they kind of did this whole there's a weird setup with Dumbledore. It's just fucking odd. And literally every franchise, video games as well. Assassin's Creed. Oh yeah, oh boy, they fucked up. Assassin's Creed Unity, when that came out, was fucking abysmal. And now what I will say is, at the current point, I don't think there's a single bad Assassin's Creed game. Because they've fixed stuff. But that's too little too late, you know what I mean? Borderlands is on the way there. Horizon, they've only got 2 games, but somehow on their second game, they've absolutely fucked it. I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man 2, because it looks pretty damn promising, but, it's scary. It's scary, because every series goes to shit. Undertale, obviously, that hasn't... I'm just looking down the most highest-rated stuff on the spreadsheet.
We're good. We're Undertale.
Deltarune isn't as good as Undertale. And I would say notably so, but it's definitely good. And I think
I wouldn't say. I'd say it's just a. I don't know. I like both. I'm not bothered.
I like both, but I would definitely say Deltarune is a notable chunk not as good as Undertale. That's partially because Undertale's so fucking good. But the creator, it's just Toby Fox, isn't it? Is that it? It's just him basically doing it. Is that what it is?
Maybe, I don't know, man. I don't know. Why'd you ask me all these questions? Why do you ask me
regardless then.
questions and shit?
Whoever it is, they need to know when to quit that universe. 'Cause
Oh, what, Toby? Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. Like, I feel like when Deltarune's finished, I think he needs to move on to like
make a
something
different
new.
type of game.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skyrim and kind of I guess Skyrim you couldn't say it as a series. I wouldn't put Elder Scrolls as its own series that's got potential to go to shit. I'd say Bethesda games because they're all like one in the same, aren't they? So you've got like Fallout, Skyrim, now Starfield as well, and Starfield's the one that's like, I guess maybe we saw a bit of it with Fallout 4, but Starfield's the one where people are kind of starting to be like, this game's good, but like, what now? You know, like, what are you? This is basically Skyrim again, but different skin. So,
no, I know it's a weird one because like I've got friends that are like saying that Starfield's like one of the best things that they've ever played, and I'm not bothered about it. It looks a bit bland, but I've seen
I'll play it.
I've seen other people like saying it's shit. Like I know Asmongold like really doesn't like it. And I don't know. I've just not seen a whole lot on it. But I think the one that made people start really going, "Whoa, Bethesda, what are you doing?" is Fallout 76. That was terrible. It was broken. It was like broken worse than Cyberpunk when it came out. So, you know, I think for a while people have been doing that. I wasn't even too happy with Fallout 4, I'll be honest with you. Like, compared to New Vegas, I know it wasn't the same people, but I mean, I don't know, even compared to Fallout 3, I guess. I just felt you feel more. I don't know.
My favorite Bethesda game is still Skyrim. Like, even if I forget about how new each one is, like, even if I kind of think, oh, well, that's my favorite more for the time, like, I'm forgetting about what time they're from. Even if they all came out today, I still think Skyrim's the best one. And then Fallout 4 for me. But that's because I value kind of how modern it is and things like that. Far Cry, that series went to shit. Dishonored,
it did.
Call of Duty, obviously. What about Grand Theft Auto?
No, it's still good. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of GTA either, but like I still think it's like going strong for what it is.
See, the problem for me is it started shit, so that again it doesn't count. Yeah. If there's no franchise that's been consistently good and not fallen off and died gracefully, I just can't think of a single one. If anyone's got this far in this really long podcast that we've accidentally done for a long time. At Tweets Badly on X, aka Twitter, let us know if there's any franchise you can think of that started at least like good. Like, it doesn't have to be started amazing, started good, and then has been at least consistently good or excellent until it finished, and then they kind of like died gracefully on a good note rather than going to shit first. I think one that people could point to would be like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But I think the last season of Breaking Bad wasn't good, and I think Breaking Bad's a bit overrated. So I think the last season of Breaking Bad is the thing that falters for it. I've not seen Better Call Saul, but it's still going on, isn't it, Better Call Saul?
No.
Is it finished?
No, it's been done for like 4 years. 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Really?
It's awesome. Better Call Saul. A lot of people think it's better than Breaking Bad. Like, I loved it from start to finish.
The season came out in 2022, so I don't know about that.
Well, it is finished. It is done.
Right. Okay.
It is.
Well,
I love Saul though. He's just my favorite character. Like in all of the Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The Breaking Bad first.
I think the reason why I don't kind of point to that one as valid for me is I just don't think it was ever good enough to fit in that sort of thing that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But that is a personal thing. I know other people enjoy it a lot, but wow, we've talked for a long time. The only other game I've played or I've been playing, Pokemon Uranium. It's a fan-made Pokemon game.
Pokemon cool. Uranus. That's disgusting.
Pretty cool.
That's
Pokemon Uranium.
awful.
There's power plant explodes and infects a bunch of Pokemon with uranium, and they're all like scary and shit. It's pretty cool.
But I hope that like everybody's skin like sloughs off slowly and they all die of radiation sickness and there's like nothing that they can do to stop it and like they know that they're dying as well. Yeah,
Okay.
I hope that's what happens in it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, kind of. I've given it a 74 so far. It's pretty solid. I like it. It's good. Takes a long time to fucking do it. It's hard,
Is there a giant elephant's foot of radiation underneath the power plant that you have to like send Pokemon in to like go and like clear out, and you know that you're sending them to the deaths?
No. But I have just found an elephant's tusk, though, so now I'm a bit sus.
Oh,
So-
well, it's the elephant tusk instead of the elephant's foot in the Pokemon one. Cool.
Right, okay, that's the podcast. Thanks for listening, folks. It's been a bit of a weird one, but, you know, that happens sometimes. Sometimes we just don't have much to talk about, and we just chill and talk about shit, and Judd's, like, all moody and dismissive all the time. Sometimes that happens, who knows? Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at his fucking little face.
Yeah.
Look how reclined he is. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Right, bye. Okay, that's it. Right.